Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator podcast. I'm your host, Dana. And today on our TLC Tuesday, we are talking about 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 8, Episode 7. And joining me today for the chat is Sarah from Texas. You may know her previously on Instagram as Jeff Lewis Obsessed. And we just had such a fun chat today. We just had so much in common and just a lot of the same views on all of these couples. So this was such a great chat. Follow Sarah's podcast. It's Sarah from Texas Podcast. You can find it on all platforms, especially on YouTube, and I will link it in the show notes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today with Sarah from Texas, but also make sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and Facebook at The Bravo Investigator. You can also sign up for the Patreon to get 4 extra podcast episodes a month, and that is patreon.com/The Bravo Investigator Podcast. I hope you enjoy the episode, and I love you, BBs. I will see you next time. From Texas, welcome to the Bravo Investigator podcast.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're nice and mild here in Texas, so I love that weather. I can't stand the winter, so I don't know how you do it.
Oh my God, Sarah, it is crazy over here. We are buried in snow. And last week, it was like schools were closed, work was closed. And it's funny because I live in Toronto and the Ontario government, which is the province I live in, which makes me sound like I live in a different planet. But yeah, I live in a province. The province of Ontario, anyone who worked for the government, like the Ontario government, was required to go back to work as of January 5th. No more hybrid, like full in office 5 days a week. And then last week, we have like this major snowstorm. Work is closed, offices are closed, schools closed, everything, right? So it's so funny that they just implemented this. And now it's like, you said I couldn't work from home, right? So I guess I'm taking a snow day. So ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. I'm unemployed right now, so it's all fine. But yeah, it is crazy weather here. It is, yeah, I would love to be in Texas where it's nice and warm for sure.
For y'all to have a snow day must be really wild too. Like for y'all to have a snow day.
Exactly. Right. It's not often where they really like close everything. That's super not often. But even my dog was like, I don't know where to go. I have, she's a Pomeranian. She's so small. And so she can't really like hop over the snowbanks and then get there. But Sarah, I've been following you for a while. I sort of know your story. You started being really interested in Jeff Lewis and you kind of had a platform about him. And then you sort of changed it to more about you and reality TV content. But can you talk a little bit about how you got into this space, how you fell in love with reality TV, and just a little bit about Sarah from Texas? Sarah from Texas, welcome.
Okay, yes. So in fall of 2021, I did started doing a Jeff Lewis fan account because I didn't know anyone else to chat about him. And then a couple of years into that, I just made it Sarah from Texas podcast because I was talking about other stuff. I mean, Jeff Lewis watches a lot of the same shows that I do, the Bravo and the Housewives and such, TLC. But I was talking about that also. But so I just eventually made it that. The Jeff Lewis fans, honestly, are just like rabid animals. So I'm just like, fuck that. I'm just not going to talk about Jeff Lewis at all anymore. I really don't listen as much anymore. He's still, I know all of the little chumps and the people. So I know them from the show. I'm still interested in them. So I'm going to chat about it if something comes up or if somebody asks me about it on my live. But I don't really listen every day. It's 2 hours and I listen to so much Andy Cohen and so many Bravo and TLC shows that's really what I chat about. But if it comes up and it's something of interest, I absolutely talk about it.
So what's your favorite Bravo show right now?
Bravo?
Okay, let's call it reality TV because we have like traders, we have little offsets of things. And so I don't want to limit you.
I might say 90 Day Fiance right now.
It's good, right?
Even though it's like a freaking job, I always joke that 90-day couples are this much in my brain. There's so many. Like maybe you'll have to fill me in because recently there was this, what was her name? Like Elena or something that I guess got in trouble. She has all these lawsuits and criminal background. Not
from
the
a
girl,
previous season? Oh,
Yeah.
Lita, Leida,
Yeah.
Lita.
And I'm like,
Yes,
who
yes.
is that?
I don't remember a lot of these. I do. I sort of remember her, and I think she had like some criminal activity at the time. I thought her family was really rich. It's really hard to remember these people. I think that's sort of what you're saying because this show has been on forever, and there's like 20 couples a season, and it's really hard to remember them all and keep track.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they cross pollinate, and they're like, "I know you from this show, and now we're gonna date," right? So yeah, I did see some snippets of that, and I think maybe I'm one of the only 90-day podcasters that kind of tries to stay away from that stuff. I know that Mary Payne and Amy Archer, they're big about the Reddit. They really like to see what's going on the back end. I love what I love about reality TV, or what I try to love about it, is to treat it as authentically as possible. And while I know that 90 Day Fiance can be very fake, I try to pretend that it's real. So I try to stay out of that stuff. Like I ended up inadvertently seeing that like Forrest and Sheena had actually met in 2019. I don't know if you saw this post. Like someone had found a post, date stamped and everything, that they were in Indonesia together, or it was either Indonesia or the Philippines. But like it's clear as day, right? That you guys have already met. So I don't like that because I want to like go with what's happening on screen that you have met for the first time. I like that mentality. But yeah, the internet adds a whole other level. Like you said before we started recording about like, you can't just watch the shows anymore. You need to complement it with the social media aspect because there
Yeah.
is so much that goes on online that's outside of the show. And if you're not chronically online, you really are missing so much context.
But it bums me out because I want to watch in real time. It's
Right.
kind of like this shift that happened with every Bravo housewife having a podcast or going on the podcast or posting about it. They were ruining stuff in real time. And I'm like, I'm still watching the
I
show. Like, we don't
know.
know. I think, you know what? The shift might have been when Vanderpump, when Scandival was going on. And even
Yeah,
people like TMZ, E News, they were like posting their outfits that they were filming for. And I'm like, this is filming, and I already know what Lala's wearing walking into Sir
exactly.
or Tom
Exactly.
Tom.
It
And then they
became a
go
shift
on
then where
Sheena
we're
Shay's,
watching it all happen before it happens. And then when we watch it air, we're like, I've seen this already. I feel it.
like I literally have seen it. And I
Yeah.
already know with 90 Day Fiance, people will tell me, if you watch my podcast, you'll know I don't even watch the previews at the end of a Housewives. I don't want to know what happens next week because it taints me. With
Yes.
90 Day Fiance, I don't want to know if they're together right now in real life. I want to
Yes.
watch on the show and then I want to see the tell all, which I cannot wait for next week's
Tell
tell
alls.
all of Before the 90 Days.
For toe, or toe is next week, I think. I don't think we're getting a tell all for this yet because we're only
Oh, it might
seven
have been the
episodes in
other
this,
way that I
but
was
for
watching.
toe, yeah,
Yeah,
the
you're
other
right.
way.
Yeah, this is
I
only
am
Ep
excited for
7.
that.
This is only the seventh episode. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
getting all
yeah.
the stuff.
No, I'm so jazzed. Well, I'm really happy to hear you say that 90 Day is your favorite because that's what we're talking about today. But before we get into it, I have like the most bizarre question to ask you. I hope it's okay because I
Yeah.
saw you post online about your pee smelling like coffee. And I want to know what came of that because my pee smells like coffee. And when I saw that, it was like so fucking relatable. I didn't know it was a thing. And so I stayed out of your comments. I wanted to know what happened with that. Did you get any like really great insight into what it means?
Yes. So I
Okay, tell
heard a
me.
lot that that's the first pee of the day, like after you've had the coffee, because it's so concentrated. Then
Okay.
I'd heard that my coffee pot needs to be cleaned out because that means there's something with the coffee pot. I'm like,
I only
okay.
buy coffee though. Like I only buy it from like McDonald's or whatever. So I don't know
So,
if that's necessarily it.
so false information. What else did I hear? Why did you video yourself peeing as if nobody pees? I'm like, there wasn't anything rude, crude about it. Like, I'm
Would have been
peeing.
taken
Like,
down if it was.
I mean, give me a break. It's just, you know, you post what you want and you just say F it.
I
Life
love
goes
that about
on.
you. Yes.
Life goes on. Like there's bigger fish to fry in this world. And if that really unsettled you, then wow. Okie dokie.
Newsflash, everybody pees. And
Right.
don't we and didn't it created like relatable content where I wanted to like talk to you about it, right? And now here we are podcasting about pee. And it just shows how much reality TV can bring us together in some sort of way. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into it. 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, season 8, episode 7. This is a wild season. I'm really
Yeah.
enjoying it. We're going to start with Lisa and Daniel, but this is something that I've been saying for a little bit. I haven't seen a character like her in a minute. and I'm obsessed. Not in like a she's amazing kind of way, but she's such a chaotic character. And, she's sort of reminiscent of like the old baby girl Lisa. And just this whole situation is so obviously scammy. The way she talks about sex, or like even when she's like, I'm so nervous, some pee might drip down my leg. Like this woman is like chaotic and I can't stop watching. So it's so fun. So we this whole thing was very confusing because it very much seemed like this guy is a scammer, but then they meet and they're like making out, but then he won't have sex with her. So now we're starting with the morning after. So I guess he mustered the strength to be able to have sex with her. I guess he figured, I kind of have to. But then she says that he didn't finish and he wasn't fully hard. And she was so nervous with anticipation that she was super wet. And this is just absolutely disgusting. I don't know why she feels she has to give this level of detail, but all right. So she sort of feels like they didn't even really have sex and it's making her feel really insecure. Now, he says that he was really stressed, so it's hard to perform. And he was also talking about how tired he was. But what pisses me off about this, it's like, dude, did you travel all day? No.
Right.
What are you tired from? What are you stressed about?
And I'm pretty sure a man's wiener is going to untire really quickly when he's got a vag in front of him laying in bed, right?
Absolutely. This whole thing. So Lisa says that he's bigger than she expected, so it was a little painful. But then she says she's stretched to fit him perfectly. And I'm like, girl, first of all, we know that the vagina stretches. You have what, 5 children? Is that correct? So you know how it works, okay? I don't think he's that big in that sense where, I mean, yeah, the vagina does that, right? But it's like, Lisa, you don't need to tell us this information. Then Daniel tells Lisa that they need permission from his uncle in order to move forward. So they go to this shop to find this appropriate attire. And the lady at the shop says to her, like, oh, it's going to need to be tailored because you're too fat. Now, I'm guessing this is like a cultural thing where it's like fine to say that, but like, oh my God, how awful to be told that on camera.
Yeah. Well, she's got insecurity anyways because she hasn't been with a man in 21 years, which if she says that one more goddamn time, literally, we get it. Like, seriously. That is the thing also, Dana. He proposes within minutes, has this huge spectacle of it all. Like, he really did plan all of that, which was really beautiful. I think it's more his family so excited that he caught an American.
You do? Because here's the thing about this guy. He's constantly, and this sort of comes up at the very end, but I'll go there in a second. He keeps insisting on this concept of like in his family that honesty is very important and telling the truth and all of this. And I'm like, sir, you are a Nigerian scammer. You know this. Your whole family must know this as well. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just seems like kind of contradictory to what is very obvious here, sir. Like, he's very attractive. He seems like an interesting guy, but like this entire thing is like so clearly a scam to everyone involved. And like, I also really, the controlling way that he treats her too, as I thought was just kind of wild, right? Like that whole scene that we saw of them eating.
Yeah.
First, I mean, I just have so many thoughts about this. It was, she made this concerted effort to learn about how to eat this food. It's called like fufu, and how to like roll it and flatten it and do all these things. But then he's sort of like coming at her in a very almost like primitive way. Like, no, you don't. You do this way. And then he gives her some wine, but then like accuses her of being like dead ass drunk and like she can't even walk and stuff. So I feel like we saw such a like shift from what we saw at the beginning to this. A lot of people are online are talking about how like it felt very like scripted, but like bad writing, and couldn't figure out like what it was. What did you make of this couple in this episode and just the shifts that we saw? And even from her, I mean, she's pissed off. She's continuing to vape because she just cannot handle how controlling he's being.
First of all, there's so many red flags with this relationship. The fact that when cultures are so different, in the standards of a wife in America versus the standards of a wife in Nigeria, that's like huge. And they are going to have to overcome that. But the fact that he's like, Christians don't smoke. And she's like, okay, that bitch ain't going to quit vaping. She's going to vape even more because she's so stressed out.
Does the Bible say that? And I ask that as a Jewish person. I'm literally asking.
No, I'm Southern Baptist. I mean, do I vape? No, but I'm sure people at our church do. Like, I don't know. I don't want people to vape because of the health reasons. It's not because of a Christian thing. You know what I mean?
So he's being manipulative and making it seem like it is.
Well, and also, when she was like showing her voice, that is what you don't do. Like, it is like the man's way or the highway. I mean, you don't yell at someone in a restaurant. Like that level of disrespect they don't see. And he was probably like, oh my God. It didn't feel scripted to me at all.
Okay.
I kind of
I get so
liked that
sucked
she
into what
stood
people say
up.
online, and then I'm like, no, I need to hear what somebody else thinks. So yeah, tell me what you think.
What struck me, going back to the sex of it all, is the fact that they were so passionate, him especially with the kissing.
With the kissing, yeah.
That made me get all tingly downstairs. I mean, I was excited for them. I was like, this is awesome that you are into her, right? Because you do kind of think Ori's a really good actor, but he really was kissy with her and like very lovey-dovey. The fact that he couldn't go all the way that night, I get it more so if he says, look, this is my culture, I'm this, I'm that, we shouldn't have
No, he's
sex
not
until
saying
we
that
get
though.
married. It wasn't that. Like, you can't vape because we're a strong Christian, but I can bone you? Like
And
what?
tongue
The
you
first
down
night
on
we
camera.
meet? Yeah, on a TLC reality TV show? Like wait, what?
I just sort of wonder what he thought about this going in because it's sort of, I mean, to see him make out with her so hardcore right away, I think we were all sort of shocked. We're like, oh, is he attracted to her? But then he wouldn't
Yeah.
have sex with her. So maybe he thought, like, in this whole like pre-planning, that would be enough, right? If I like really tongue her down and make her, that'll be good enough. And then it wasn't good enough. And he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to have sex with her too. So he like mustered up whatever strength he had, whatever Viagra he had in his pocket to like make it work. But he's making that part so obvious. Like you're
Yeah.
making it very obvious you're not attracted to her. But I guess it's hard to sort of to reconcile how you're able to make out with her that way, but not have sex with her. And like Mary Payne Gilbert and I talked about this last week, and I think people treat different levels of intimacy differently, right? If you think back to the very early days of Vanderpump Rules, where Jax and Kristen had sex, they didn't kiss. Okay, because they felt that was too intimate. They just banged. So maybe, I
Right.
mean, and people treat those things sort of differently. So maybe he thought, I can handle kissing, but sex is way too intimate with someone I'm not attracted to. But I
Which
could
is the
muster the
opposite
strength.
of
You,
what
you would think, you would
everyone.
think, you would think.
Yeah. I actually, so unpopular opinion, I don't think he's not attracted to her.
You
I
don't.
d-
Okay.
I don't know how you can kiss so passionately. Like that is intimate.
I know, but the
I
sex
do.
part was so weird. He just kept being like, "Oh no, I'm tired. Like, I don't come in the
Yeah.
shower." It was so obvious. Like the shower thing. Like, what do you mean? Like, it looked like he hadn't done enough pre-planning to make a decision as to how he was gonna go forward with this. Because again, why are you tired? And now that he couldn't get a full boner, I mean, doesn't that sort of tell it all? Like,
But
I
he did it
don't
in the
not
morning.
disagree
He
with you.
did
I'm
her in
just
the
curious.
morning.
So you feel like, well, morning wood.
Yeah.
We're sitting here
I don't
analyzing
know.
the best time to have sex in the day. I don't know. Listen, I want to be
I
open
just
to
feel
what
like
you're
they have so
saying.
many problems. He doesn't even know. Like, first of all, she told her daughter, this is another thing I don't like about reality TV in general, is when people, even housewives that are already famous, they're already wealthy, and they put their kids and their families on TV when they're like teenagers. I'm like, what are you doing? You know that people are going to come at them. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't like that at all. So her daughter is a grown woman, but the fact that her daughter has knowingly said, "Look, don't go over there and get engaged. Talk to me before that was," and she immediately says yes. I'm like, you're instantly putting this dude before you. Does she think that if he has a problem with her vaping, he's not going to have a problem with the fact that she's currently married to a woman and she's only been with women for 21 years? As a Christian, do you think he's going to be okay with her being a lesbian? No. And she
Like he
hasn't
already
told him that yet.
exactly. Exactly. And
She
it's
took the
there's
ring.
there's so many additional things that she
Yeah.
still has to tell him. And yeah, like you're saying, it's so obvious that like if he has all of these issues with these small things because he is aware that she like kissed a girl and she liked it or whatever, and he has a huge issue with that. And I
Right.
know we hate talking about what happens next time, but it's hard not to, watch that little piece. But we do see her sitting down with his uncle because she has to impress the uncle and get permission. And he goes, "Do you practice lesbianism?" As if it's like witchcraft.
Right, right, right.
It's just so funny. But like, how is that supposed to pan out? I mean, like
Yeah.
21 years of sleeping with women and being married to three women? Like,
And
this is
married right now? Like, I
married
can't
right
even marry
now.
you. Sorry, I'm already legally married. Like, wait, what?
I know this whole thing is wacky. I have to give her a little bit of credit though for like not taking his shit at the restaurant and like
Yeah.
walking away especially when he was like accusing her of being like too drunk. I mean, he is saying that this wine called the palm wine, it's extremely strong, but still, she's had like two sips. He gave it to her. He's acting like she's been drinking all night and being crazy when he's like, try the wine. And then he's like, well, let me see you walk to see if you can even walk. She's like, I'm gonna walk right out this door, bitch. Right. And like, I liked that. And then she goes outside to vape. And it's interesting
Me
to
too.
watch her get so annoyed because we came into watching her thinking that this girl will put up with anything probably,
Yeah.
but she has enough like chutzpah to be like, no, I do not like this controlling nature and I'm not okay with it. So to watch the fact that she's actually able to get frustrated with him and be like, I don't know about this, makes me feel like she has a little more what's the word? Respect for herself than I thought. I
Balls.
mean, balls and yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna see it go sideways, obviously, but it's interesting to see her stand up for herself a little bit because she
Yeah.
hasn't really.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
kind of the theme of this whole episode is like everything was made to seem so perfect and that's kind of 90 Day Fiance, right? Everything
Yeah.
goes to hell. But it's like in one episode, they have so many couples to show that don't usually see in one episode things being like a 9, 10, and then things going to like a 1, 2 level. You know what I
Yes.
mean? In this
Yeah.
episode, we saw that with kind of all the couples.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to our next couple, Forrest and Sheena, who are my favorite couple. But I'm already kind of upset because this whole time I felt like poor Sheena, she has been supporting her family. She has been supporting Forrest. She has been trying to figure it all out. Maybe she lied about something, but I was just sort of like, maybe the reason she lied or got so flustered is because she is literally dealing with just so much pressure on all ends. But then we see Forrest and Sheena going to her parents' house, which is like 2 hours away from her. And Forrest tells the camera that Sheena has told him that her parents are gonna, have questions about him financially, but also have told him that like they are super manipulative and like demand money from her and make her feel bad and all of this. So they get to the house and it's gorgeous. It has like a gazebo, a pool, and we're all like, wait a second, wait a
Yeah.
second. So we meet her dad, Steve, and sister, Katrina. The mom is not there because she's not feeling well, which is odd because that was the whole point of this. And I don't know what's going to happen there. But Forrest tells the camera that Sheena had told him that her parents like run a bed and breakfast out of their home and they need money sometimes to fix the roof and other things for the property, which is why they're stealing money from him. Forrest, sir, Forrest, sir, you have not contributed a dollar to this, sir. This amount of money that Sheena's parents are stealing from her is her money that she has been
Abs-
saving for your relationship, but you have not contributed a dollar to, my friend.
She's a freaking veterinarian. He's on
Insane.
disability. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, he can't work for all these years and supports himself on disability. And yet now he's telling the dad, oh, I can work. I am going to work full time. What's your plan? And why haven't you done that before now? Don't you need to
Right.
come into this situation showing them, hey, I have a job? Like, when were you going to get the job? It's like
Right.
90 Day Fiance is going to become his job,
Oh
which is
no,
the
this is
problem I have with
Gino.
all of these. All of them are on TikTok lives all the freaking time. I mean, I don't even follow them and they show up.
Hmm.
Stacy and Darcy, that's all they
Can't
do
get rid
is
of them.
TikTok lives. Big Ed, that's all he does is
Oh my
TikTok lives.
gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane.
It's, I we got that context last week, this additional context that like this is why he's not working because of the disability. And he tries to mention it to her family, like, I have difficulty communicating with people because of my autism. Like, for example, right now I'm having a terrible time. I wish he hadn't have said that because that's a weird example to give because to say you're having a terrible time trying to communicate with them. I mean, it's actually going kind of well. But I understand what he's saying in certain workplaces where it might take him longer to be able to do something, but there are jobs like a Walmart greeter or something like that. And so I wonder, if you're on disability, because you're saying you're not capable of working. So how are you now able to say on camera out loud that you can and that you will? And you could tell from last week when Sheena was like, he's a man, he needs to work. I need him to work. She was just
Yeah.
like kind of like not on the same page with him. So that's why I just don't really understand the situation because I understand why he can't do certain kinds of jobs, but there's got to be something out there that he could try to do. And I don't understand why he hasn't really done it. And he could, because this whole time he could have been helping to contribute to that money pot that they're trying to do to get her over to the US, right? Like, I understand why you're saying this to her family now, but if I were her family, I'd be like, why haven't you been doing this during the 7 years that you've been together? Right? Like, why are you going to
Yeah.
start trying to figure it out now?
And why doesn't he just move there? Like she clearly has a real job, a real
Molly
career.
would never allow it.
Who?
Molly, his mom, his crazy mom.
Oh, which we haven't met yet.
No, we
So I
have. We have. You haven't seen the first few episodes. No, Molly. You have not been seeing Molly. Molly and Dev came with them to the
oh
Philippines.
his mom. I thought you
Yeah,
said
his
her
mom.
mom.
No, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
His mom would
Yeah,
never
yeah.
allow him because
Oh,
she's
yeah,
so
yeah.
controlling.
Yeah. Yeah, and has nothing going on. That poor Dev, boy, does he not like husband of the year. Like he is so
Love him.
calm and oh my God, like Dev for president, seriously.
Honestly, but there's something to be said about like opposites attract, and it
Yeah.
seems like he's very good at being able to like bring her back down to earth and stuff. So maybe they are like kind of a really good couple for each other.
Yeah.
So the money, okay, so Sheena tells the camera that she's nervous because she's not been honest and she's worried about what's going to be said that basically contradicts what she's been telling both sides. So now
Yeah.
it's clear to me that she's kind of a liar. And I'm like, oh shit. Because I really
Yeah.
liked her. But she's
Yeah.
lying to everybody.
Yeah.
What do you think this is? Like, what do you think is truly going on here? Because she has said the money had to go to my parents for cultural reasons because we help each other out and they would make me feel awful if I didn't. It seems like that's not really the situation. So what do you think this is? What do you think's really going on here that she's trying to keep a secret from both sides?
Well, I don't know because her dad did say we rely on her a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that is the culture in a lot of countries where
Yes.
as the parents get older, they have done everything they can for their children, probably paid for her schooling, all the things. And now it is part of her job is to pay them back as they get in their older
Okay.
years and they're not making the income they were in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. It is a cultural thing and they do rely on that. I just think because Forrest, that's not how it is in America or even Canada, probably, that we just say F our parents, we just hope they're whatever. Not me personally, but that's more the logic and the differences of the culture. I think because Forrest didn't understand that she was just telling him, oh, they're being mean, they're, like for sympathy. And in fact, the dad has already given the blessing. Like
Yeah.
he's already given
He
that. So
that just shows
he
how
didn't seem
nice
mean
he
at
is.
all.
What other father, right? I'm sort of thinking about like because of recent, I'm sure you heard the recent news about Kyle and Amanda from Summer House breaking up.
Yeah.
And my mind went to Frank Batula laughing in Kyle's face when he asked for permission, right? Like that's what would make more sense. You two have met now for 5 minutes. He doesn't have a job. He says he'll try to support her. This sounds like a really nice dad, right? So I feel like we're not getting the full truth. Now, that being said, I don't have a relationship with my mom right now. We're estranged. When we were in each other's lives, it was super contentious and volatile and things like that. And I remember starting to date someone who said, and I told him all about it. And when he met my parents for the first time, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. They're very nice. I'm like, well, obviously you're not there for those moments, right?
Yeah.
And then he was, and then he was like, okay, I get it now. But that's why I wanted to give her a little bit of grace because just because the parents are being super kind on camera or in this setting, I mean, we're all putting up our best foot forward, right?
That's true.
Right? Like we don't know what happens behind closed doors. But I understand where Forrest is coming from when he's meeting them and he's like, they seem lovely. I'm a little confused.
But he was also so mad. And he's like, literally, like, I had in my brain that I was going to go there and tell them I'm taking her away from you and I'm going to save you, as if she's almost like being financially beaten by them. And I don't
But I
think that's
think
the
that
case at all.
no, but I think that that's might be what she was telling him
Yeah.
because but why are you saying that about your parents if that's not necessarily true? Are you giving them the money out of the goodness of your heart because you're helping them, or are they manipulating you and forcing you? Like, it, we need more information here. And what I love about this show, which I've just realized recently, is like the concept of like, I feel like when they cast you for this show, they say, are you dating someone that you've never met? Yes. Do you have a big secret that you've never told them? All right, you're
Oh,
cast. That's it, right? Because it feels like that has to be a part of it.
yeah.
And what is the other one that we were talking about? Oh, no, it's the same show, but we don't have them this week. Ziad and Emma, where she has that
Oh,
big secret, right? Where she has this ex-boyfriend or whatever. And in like the second episode, Ziad says, like, I don't care about your past. I don't want to know about it. And she just sort of stands there like, I cannot compute. I'm supposed to tell the secret. I was told by production, right? So it just sort
yeah.
of feels like this funny thing where like they almost won't cast you unless you have like this dire secret that you're holding from the other person. It's wild.
But I feel like so they there's always an age gap.
Yeah.
It's always like 20 years. It's always like somebody in America that would never be able to find anyone anyways. Need I say Laura and Birkin?
So
Um,
interesting.
all the stuff that's going on with her former middle school students coming out and saying, when my weird middle school teacher
Let's move
is
on to
now
them.
a 90-day fiance. And I'm like, girl, I want to hear from y'all. We all
Okay,
had
I
that
want to
weird
give her a
middle
little
school
grace
teacher.
there because like someone is coming out from like middle school and is like saying, like, do you remember being 10 years old and your teacher then? Like, it's possible she's telling the truth, but it's also possible you're like being like, oh, I know that person. I want a little bit of clout, so I'm going to go on the internet and
Yeah.
say some things. I think Laura is such an interesting character to me because she is cool. She's the kind of person I'd want to be friends with. I think she's so cute. She doesn't fit this show because she seems so normal, but she is on this show. So there is a possibility that she isn't, right? And there's a possibility that the things that we're seeing on the internet are true. It's just so weird to see someone like this who doesn't normally fit the persona of this show. But one other thing I've noticed about her is that she's being very chronically online. Like she's all up in the comments. She follows
Oh,
like some of the big 90-day podcasters. I'm like, okay, which is not a typical thing for 90-day people. It's a very Bravo thing for us to have that symbiotic relationship where they exist for us and us for them, and them for us
yeah.
and us for them. But 90 Day are not as like in tune with the podcast and the online stuff, but she seems to be very much clocking what people are saying and staying very like abreast of it. I mean, she's smart enough to know what's going on here. And we start with like Burkan has just told her that he has $50,000 American in debt, right? And he wants to flee the debt and go to America, which shows that he's already put thought into that. And I was saying to Mary Payne last week, there's no situation where you're broke and then you happen to start talking to someone online and you happen to have already had this whole thought about like wanting to go to America, right? Like none of these things just like happened in circumstance, like happenstance, right? Like you went online to look for an American because you are broke. Like all of those things just didn't happen to happen at the same time. So he also seems to have a secret that we don't know
Yeah.
about yet, because he's doesn't have any money and he does something, I guess, to make money sometimes. My brain goes OnlyFans. I don't know what else to think of, but I guess
Yeah. Why
we'll
wouldn't
find
he
out.
say?
I don't know. I mean, because they have this big secret and they have to wait until episode, I don't know what, right? Like,
It's episode 7, though. They're 2 hours long. Like, come on already.
it does look like we're going to get something next week, but Laura's obviously concerned that he is just using her for a green card. And she tells the producers that she's very frustrated because he didn't tell her outright about his debt. Now, I thought this one scene was really interesting where she's trying to like have a conversation with him about it. And he pulls this very like romance, like novel card where he like pushes her into a wall and kisses her, which is funny because she loves romance novels and she writes romance novels.
Yeah.
So it's like he's really trying to lean into something that he knows would work for her. And I
Yeah.
don't like that.
She
Like,
loved it, though. She
I
was like,
know.
this is
Like she
my
fell right into
dream.
it.
This is my dream to have a Turkish. I really think so. You say she's very normal. I do think she's normal, but quirky. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I would not be friends with her. I can tell you. I have no
Okay.
interest in being friends with Laura. Okay.
Okay.
I think
The
it's
weight stuff I resonate with. So I just feel like we could have a lot of interesting conversations about like weight. But yeah.
yeah, I definitely have a lot of feelings about her and her friend, her best friend, Michael.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't
they're gonna end
like,
up together, obviously, don't you think?
I kind of hope so, but
Yeah.
why aren't they now?
Because
Like,
she
why?
literally said, Sir, this is your moment. I'm gonna go to Turkey. So this is your moment. If you want to be with me, say it. And he didn't.
But why didn't he? Like, why doesn't he want to? Like, I
I think,
feel like she's taking the first and only person that's being showing some interest
yep.
in Birkin, and then she's finding out all this other stuff. And then he's saying, oh, by the way, you won't be friends with him at all. You're going to cut all communication. She's like, wait, what? I feel like she would, though, which really saddens me that women, like, I'm just not that girl. I mean, I've been married 25 years. I've got my own friends. He's got his own friends. We've got couple friends. We've got family friends. We've always been like that. I'm raising 5 children that I don't want to be emotionally, financially, physically tied to anyone in too much. I always tell my daughters, your husband should love you more than you love them. And I don't think that's bad advice because I just don't think that's bad advice. I don't
I
want
love that.
somebody needing someone more than you feel needed or
Right.
loved. And I feel like she's just going for Birkin, whatever, because Michael didn't have the balls to like come through.
Deep down, she's insecure, right? I mean,
Which
this
is,
is
yeah,
understandable. You know,
right.
we've all been through that as women, but given that she went through this like situation where she had gained a ton of weight and then lost the weight, and she still has that extra skin, which makes it like impossible for you to forget that you had that extra weight because it's like literally still sitting on you in
Right.
a certain way. So of course she's like insecure. And you know, as women, I feel like no, I think it's great that you're like so confident and independent. And I'm the same way. I don't date anymore. I don't even try because I am just not interested in all of that nonsense. So good for us
Right.
for being like good independent women. But like I also feel for I've also been in this stage of life where I'm like
Sure.
so desperate for love, right? I feel well, I mean, that's what these shows are, right? You are so desperate for love, you are
Yeah.
willing to go across the world and meet someone you've never met to do it, right? I mean, we don't really see a lot of these people who aren't desperate, right? I feel like that is sort of probably one of those concepts of this show. Um, but then of the Michael of it all, Bertrand just sort of like kind of flips a switch and gets like really like controlling and possessive. And he's like, I don't want you to be friends with him at all anymore. I'm making this an ultimatum, even though I'm not calling it an ultimatum, but you're going to choose me, essentially. And then when she's like, whoa, like, this is my friend. I don't really like the way you're being right now. She's really shocked by this. He just kind of takes off and she's stunned because, like, the way he's acting is just very weird and controlling. And listen, I can imagine in any relationship, it'd be kind of weird that you've got this male best friend who also has feelings
Yeah.
for you, right? Like there is this concept, but the you can't tell someone no. You can't tell a partner no because you are partners. She's not your child, and that creates like a just like a power imbalance that shouldn't be there in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. But that's common with all of these people. What I don't like, especially when they've shown a lot of Mormon people lately, I don't, not Mormon, Muslim. um, I don't think they've ever shown Mormon, actually,
No, I think
only
you're
Salt
right.
Lake City,
Yeah,
but the Muslim thing of it all. But like, and the ones that got booted for whatever reason they got booted, the ones that live in Fort Worth, Texas, that have the baby together and he wants all these kids,
yeah,
whatever that couple is. But when they come into it and they don't fully respect that culture and that religion, and they're like dressing like, skimpy, and then they are with someone that's Muslim that is like, this is not what we do. We don't do this is disrespectful. This is, and they have all these problems with it. I'm like, did you not learn anything about that?
Well, in Emma's defense, I will only say that she had asked Ziad a million times, what can I wear? And he's like, you can wear whatever you want. And she's
Yeah.
not from there. And if the guy who's from there is saying, wear whatever you want, then why wouldn't you listen? Right. So, but I feel like chronic watchers of this show, like us, we know the drill, right? We know
Yeah.
that you don't come over in the skimpy clothes. So, okay,
No,
let's,
I do feel that he was portraying things that is going to be so different. And we've seen
yeah,
that in a lot of them. They're
of
like, oh,
course.
we're going to have sex. We're going to do this. We're going to be able to kiss in public. We heard, TLC rolled back the clip
Yep.
of her at the beach when she's like, oh, can we do this? Can we do this? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, there's the lie. You
Yeah.
literally lied to her.
Yeah. Do you not know how reality TV works? You're being filmed.
But she'd
Okay.
already had the boyfriend that she went there for, Muhammad.
Right.
So she knows the culture. She knows all of that. She knows the
That's a good
issues.
point. That's a really great point. Okay, they're not even in this episode. So let's move on to Aviva and Stig. Now, they just keep having sex without protection, which is wild to me. It's like, you guys have known each other a day. He's literally like, this is her first full day here. And they've had sex at least like 7 times without protection. And then the thing he said last week really pisses me off about how did he say it? Like, she's so hot, so we need to feel this to the fullest, meaning like the raw dogness of it all. And it's like, dude, ew, ew, I don't like it. So he takes her to one of his shows, right? Because he is like the biggest artist in Belize. But this is literally a tiny little venue. No one's really paying attention. But in advance of this, she starts to sort of express some concerns to him. And she's like, my Aunt Stig, or my Aunt Spring, that was her name. Stigdar's
I looked up
27.
his Instagram
You have
last
more
night.
followers than him.
I looked up his Instagram last night. I usually don't, but I thought, you know
Yeah.
what? I just wonder what he has. Probably 10,000 of these are from 90 Day Fiance.
Uh-huh.
I mean, so
But
he
that's
probably,
not a big number.
I'm like, Stig, and he's young. Like
I know.
his age group is, and he's in Belize and he's whatever. Anyways, he's bigger in his brain than he
Exactly.
actually is.
Exactly. And like the songs aren't good, ma'am. So she's a little jealous, right? Because she's just like, my Aunt Spring told me that like you had this show, you had the song Vicky, and then you left with Vicky, and he's just like, oh, Spring seems to know me better than I know myself. And he's like, no, I didn't leave with Vicky. Vicky was like this married woman that was having a hard time that I kind of dated, but no, it's all good. She asks him not to perform the song, which is okay, but he says he won't. But then when they get to the venue, he does it, right? She doesn't like it. He's sort of flirting with someone on stage, but not really. It's the whole environment is weird because it's like this weird open venue where there is someone sort of standing next to him, a girl, but she's looking at her phone. I don't really
It
know. So
wasn't
then
a stage. It was
yeah,
like
it wasn't a
he's
stage.
like
It was like the middle of a
standing
bar.
in the audience singing
Yeah.
to them.
Right. So Aviva starts like going on her phone because she's kind of upset. She's also alone there, right? So she's like texting
Yeah.
friends, being like, "Hey, like I'm kind of pissed at this. He's not paying any attention to me. He's flirting with other girls. I don't really like it." And then he gets so distracted by that that he forgets the words to his song. This reminded me of something that happened to me a few years back. I went to Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal, and I had bought tickets to see John Mulaney first, like front row. You know him? Do you know the
Mm-mm.
comedian? It's like,
John
oh,
Mulaney.
yeah, one of my favorite comedians. He's
I love
really close
comedians.
friends with Nick Kroll. They do a lot of shows together. He did like an
Okay.
animated show. He's awesome. And I had bought two tickets. My sister couldn't go with me. My uncle and cousin's girlfriend happened to also be there for Just for Laughs, but the girlfriend, it was very last minute, so they didn't have tickets for her to do something. So I said, "Come with me. I have a spare ticket. Come to John Mulaney with me."
Yeah.
So we're front row, right? He can see us, and she's just not interested, I guess, and she's on her phone the whole time, and he's looking at her. And I feel uncomfortable, but she's also an
Yeah.
adult, right? So I don't need to tell an adult that what she's doing is rude because she's
Yeah.
aware, right? I'm not her mom. And even if I were, she's an adult. But John Mulaney kept looking at her. So like I sort of understand that concept, especially when, if this was a bigger venue, if this was an actual concert, he probably would not notice that she was on her phone. But because
Right.
this is such a small venue, I don't know. Like, I don't really get why he was like that upset about it. He was like really, really butthurt. She sort of apologizes, but she's like, I was alone there. I just wanted to like talk to some people. I sort of didn't really like it. What do you make of this all? What do you make of this couple? Oh, by the way, everyone thinks she's pregnant.
Okay. But she's got a little pooch. She's
That's what
just that
everybody's saying.
either she was on
Or
her period or something, but she's got a little pooch. But I have seen in the confessionals, but
that's what
I think
everybody's saying. The confessionals,
yeah.
and that she's wearing the same top over and over again in different colors, which apparently is like a classic maternity thing because you find like
So do
one
you
thing that
follow her? Like, have you heard in real time if she's pregnant or not?
I haven't heard in real time. I do follow her, but you know how long ago these things film, right? So like the baby is probably like 4 years old right now. But a lot of people have been talking about, like, I haven't really seen anything online, but a lot of people have been talking about it. But especially they're talking about the confessionals and like the billowy way that her shirt looks. I don't like to talk about people's looks or like how, especially if she doesn't end up being pregnant, like I will have
Yeah.
egg on my face because I feel really weird about talking about somebody's body like that. But I will
Yeah.
say that a lot of other podcasters are saying that there's sort of like a billowy way to the way her shirt looks in the
Okay.
confessional, and it sort of sticks out at the top, not the top, like under the boob,
Okay,
which
I
is where
gotta
it
tell
would
you,
protrude.
I do think Stig should have been upset. It is a small
Okay.
venue. He could have eye contact with her. I am thinking if I were at a show, I do think it'd be very distracting because that is like the biggest FU ever. He's
Yeah,
got
you're right.
these girls. It is also Belize. It is also people that have their little cameras up. There's also a camera crew in her face. So people are well aware. They probably had a sign on the outside of the venue saying, "Hey, we're going to be filming here on Tuesday night, 6 to 9, whatever." And then they're like,
Right.
I mean, it's Belize. They know 90 Day Fiance also. I mean, it's TLC. It's not like they're in a third world country or anything. So they're there to be on camera also and to also see somebody from 90. They don't know them yet because the show hasn't aired, but they're well aware these are people that are about to be on TV. These are people that are about to show up on my TikTok live because that's what they do. And I do think it's distracting and I do think it's a big FU
Okay.
to be staring at
Yeah,
her
I see what
phone.
you're saying. For sure.
I see why she was uncomfortable, but you knew you were going to be there alone. So to pull the whole, just like they all do, I came here and I'm all alone. You're going to work every day. What did you think it was going to be? Go out and meet
Yeah.
some fucking friends then.
Yeah.
Bring your best friend to the country with you. What did you think it was going to be? You knew you were going to be all alone. You knew you were leaving your family. You knew you were, yeah, like, what are we doing here? but also the whole trying to get pregnant of it all. They don't know each other that well. They live in two different countries. He travels a lot. Why would you want, if you got pregnant that weekend, why would you want to have a baby in 9 months?
So
Like, talk
wild. Like
about, like
she doesn't
neither one
seem
of them
like the
have any
smartest
idea.
girl.
No,
They're both
no.
just like, well, we're not using protection, so it's just wild that people still operate that way. I can't fathom it.
I also think he is making it seem like he's a bigger star than he is, or that
100%.
he could become this big star. And I mean, he could, but he's not yet, and he's already in his 30s. I mean, I'm like, you're not nowadays, these stars, you either have it or you don't. Justin Bieber became a star at like 12. Like these people, Taylor Swift, I mean,
You
you
can
don't
always
get
become
it.
a DJ at 44 like Kyle Cook, okay? Or Meredith Marks
Oh,
or Dorinda Medley, okay? So there is still an
Dorinda Medley,
opportunity
you're
to
right.
DJ
I'm wrong.
into
But
your
by
old
the
age.
way, Paris Hilton is the only real DJ, just so we
I
know.
forgot about that. Thank you.
I'm going to see her movie in a few weeks.
Oh,
January 30th, it
cool.
comes out.
Nice. Oh, I love her. Okay, let's move on to Trisha and Rick, our last couple. Now, this man is disgusting, okay, because we got some information about him that we didn't realize before that one of his previous wives was also from a K1 visa that he
Yes.
brought over from Nigeria. Now, this is new information. So,
Yeah.
this guy's a sex tourist, okay? Like, this is disgusting. He also had the girlfriend from Colombia that he has not told Trisha about, that he cheated on Trisha with because she sort of didn't talk to him that much for a 5 day period. Okay. This
Yeah.
guy is
Ghosted
so
him.
incredibly insecure. And what annoys me about him, because I guess the theme of this episode for this couple was the concept of money, right? And the sugar baby,
Yeah.
sugar daddy of it all.
Yeah.
She's basically saying to him, I'm coming to your country. I'm not going to be able to work. I'm going to be having to give up everything. I just want to make sure you're going to take care of my needs. And he's like, I've just had these issues in past relationships, like with the other one, where, her expectations were that I could provide a lot more than I could. So I just want to be super honest with Trisha about that. But like, then stop dating people who can't work, right? Like if money is an issue for you and you feel like people are using you for your money, but you're only dating people that can't work and require your money, then date an American who has a job. And he
Yeah.
seems to have this concept of like people from overseas are like different, right? And so he keeps fighting with Trisha about like, I thought you were different. I would date an American girl if I thought you were going to be like this. And it's like, be like what, right? Like you're dating someone from like Madagascar. Like how much money does she have? Do you think that she was like independently wealthy and that this wouldn't even come up? Like if you're gonna be bringing someone over on a K1 visa, the concept to you that like you're going to have to help support them is a part of that. So if that's like a point of contention for you, then don't date someone who can't work.
Well, but Dana, she was asking as they drove past a mall,
The way it
stop
came up
and
was
shop
weird. Yeah.
for me, buy me some things. I think she wanted the romantic part of it. Like she's saying she had this wealthy guy that bought and paid for everything, but she ultimately wasn't happy. So
Right.
now she's happy with Rick, who looks like Mike Tyson. I
Yeah.
mean, I only see and hear Mike Tyson
Yeah.
when I see Rick. But also the big age gap of it all. He's already
Hmm.
I know he's got the two little boys. Doesn't he have adult kids also?
I think he has five in total. I think
I
maybe
mean,
three adult kids
and
and two
you know
littles.
she's going to want to have kids. He's
She said
already
that a million
52
times. Yeah.
and he doesn't want any more. He
I mean,
can't afford them. I mean, it's a lot of money to afford kids, but also their age gap. Like, he doesn't want, that's a big deal. That this relationship should have been nipped in the
this is a
bud in
joke.
like
Yeah.
week one, like day one. There's always a huge age gap. Their cultural differences don't seem that different. Like she does at Madagascar. I mean, that beach they flew to, I literally want to go to this beach now. I'm
It
like,
was called like
that is
Nosy Bay or something like that. It's
Nosy Bay. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm like,
beautiful.
but the little strip that they walk to, the little sandbar, I was like, I want to go there.
Yeah.
So, even the city didn't look very like too run down or anything like that. It looks like she has like modern day clothes, her hair is cute. I mean, she's a modern day girl. I don't think their
Yes.
cultural differences are going to be that big of a deal. I do think their age is going to come into play because I think she definitely was used to this rich ex-boyfriend. But I also think, he instantly got mad saying, oh, you just want me to take me shopping. Like they both came with their baggage,
Hmm.
you know, and he got all pissy about it. But again, another theme of this episode is they all went from like 8, 9, 10s to like 1, 2s in the relationship. Like they're
Hmm.
literally flying to this vacation trip, and she looks like she doesn't want anything to do with him, and he looks
Yeah.
like he doesn't want anything to do with her. I
Yeah.
mean, it ended up coming around a little better, but
I, the fact that he hasn't told her about the ex in Colombia yet,
yep.
I mean, dude, we know that this is going to break you up. Like, let's be real. There's no way she's going to be understanding of this. So, why are we just dragging this out? Well, for him, he's dragging it out so he can have sex with her as many times as he can until then. But,
Yeah.
like, let's be real. There is nothing that these two can work out in terms of all of their other issues. Or, I mean, even if they were the most in love that two people could be and connect on everything else, she's not going to forgive you for that. You literally like she literally not even ghosted you, but just was like not as communicative for 5 days, and you were able to get on a plane and go have sex with somebody else. That just shows she cannot trust you. Because what if she
Hmm.
has like a doctor's appointment and can't respond to you? Are you gonna get on a plane? Right? Like you can't
Yeah.
trust somebody like this. This is insane.
Yeah.
And I love how producers called him on that last week, and they're like, "Are you projecting?" Because, dude, you're
Yes.
only like this about her because this is something that you would do because it is something that you did.
I mean, if anyone grew up watching Oprah Winfrey like I did or Dr. Phil, that's all they say is the guy that's accusing you of cheating is the one cheating. It's projection 101. Like,
Hello,
yeah.
100%. Oh, this was so much fun, Sarah. I love talking to you. Please tell the people where they can follow you and see what you have going on.
Thank you, Dana. It was so fun to do. I love chatting 90 Day Fiance because my audience watches 90 Day Fiance, but we more are housewives, you know.
Yeah, I just
So,
started I just started covering it because I'm like, you know what, let's branch out. And it's been so fun, especially podcasting with all of the podcasters who, have that certain like love for 90 Day Fiance on the
yeah.
back end, but don't cover it. It's just been really fun.
Yeah, I love it. So I am Sarah from Texas podcast everywhere. I'm mostly on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. And then I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel. And then it goes everywhere as a podcast at Sarah from Texas.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, Dana. It was so fun.
Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator podcast. For more content, head over to patreon.com/the Bravo Investigator podcast. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. If you enjoyed the show, leave a 5-star review. Love you, BB. See you next time.